Good evening, everyone, from MIA. That's Miami in the 305. Well, that's the area code, but most people have different ones on their cell phone than 305, but that's besides the point. Anyhow, this is Dr. Laz Manhazeh or Dr. Laz 613, and I wanted to share with you some cool, positive vibes from this week's Parsha, but short and sweet. Just something on the opening line, in fact, of this week's Torah portion, which is Lech Lecha. And we know that Hashem tells Abraham, I want you to leave this land, right? We're looking at the big book, woo! In the Chumash, in the 5 books of Moses, in Genesis, in the 3rd weekly portion of Lech Lecha. And sometimes it's just written down as Lech, right? Which actually would make more sense, wouldn't it? Shouldn't the parsha just say Lech me'artzecha u'memoladecha u'mibeit avicha? Go out from your land, from where you were born, your birthplace, and from the house of your father, El ha'artz asher areka, unto the land which I will show you. Okay, so he's like, in any case, he's going like blindly, right? He's going, doesn't know where he's going, except Hashem is talking to him. Hashem el Avram, and he tells him, Lech lecha me'artzecha, go. So the English usually translated as go from your land, go from the place of your birth, and go from your father's home, and go to this land that I will show you. But it doesn't say the word go. It says a double expression, Lech lecha, and which in Hebrew literally means go to you. Lecha means to you. Lech means go. Lech lecha, go to you. So, what the heck is going on? What does that mean? Lech lecha, go to you. We can understand this notion of if you want to grow, sometimes you have to leave these sort of boxes that have become your comfort zone, right? What is your comfort zone? All the things that you're used to. What are you used to? You're used to your whole cultural upbringing. You're used to hanging out in your land, hanging out in the place where you were born, hanging out in whatever deeper sense that means, and hanging out in front of all the things that you've accumulated and you've grown and you've grasped from your culture, from your upbringing, from your parents. It's a combination of nature and nurture. But Hashem is saying that's not enough. You got to go out of your comfort zone. In fact, you got to go so out of your comfort zone. I will show you where. Don't worry. Stick with me. I got your back. You're going to be fine. And he promises that this is going to be for you, the best thing for you. Rashi brings down over here. He says, for your benefit and for your own good. It's going to be a great thing for you. You're going to become wealthy. You're going to advance spiritually. You're going to advance physically. You're going to be wealthy beyond your wildest imagination, both physically and spiritually. And how do we do that? By extending our comfort zone, by getting out of our comfort zone. So it's not sometimes, it doesn't mean that we have to run away from where we live, but it means that we have to get out of these sort of boxes that we've created for ourselves. We've put ourselves in a box of who we are, what we can do, what we can't do, what we think we can do, what we think we can't do. And that's the beauty of, by the way, during the summer, as you know, probably many of you know, I helped direct a ropes course at Camp Masora. And I've seen so many incredible things of people who have to emotionally confront their comfort zone. They go out of it and they come out from this little activity a different person. And I will just share with you that I took my graduate class. I used to teach as an adjunct professor at Nova and at Florida State University. And I'm sorry, FIU, Florida International University. And I would always take my graduate courses to the ropes course. We'd go to the Everglades and to the ropes course. I take them to the Everglades to show them this is the real Florida. It's not just the Aventura Mall, okay? In fact, not just, but it is not the Aventura Mall. It is the real Everglades. And I take them to the ropes course because I want them to confront a challenge on a gut emotional level. And we had one girl, one young lady. She was a teacher for maybe 4 or 5 years. And she was overweight, and she started to climb up this one part of a challenge course. She got up about 8 feet. Her feet were 8 feet off the ground, which means her head was now about 13 feet off the ground. And she started to freak out. She was out of the comfort zone. She was in the terror zone. Okay? She was in the terror zone. She started to freak out. And she said, let me down, please let me down. She started to cry. And so we said, okay, no problem. Just back off. Let your hands free. You're going to be fine. You're attached to, she's wearing a helmet. She's attached to a safety harness and attached to a safety line and belay line. And she said, no, I want to go ahead. I want to go ahead. So we'd say, okay, good. Try to go one more step. And this activity was you go up about 25 feet in the air and you cross over one cable and you hold on to these ropes coming down and you make your way across, go to the other side and come down. Well, I have to tell you something. With encouragement, she would stop every 3 feet and cry and beg to come down. We'd say, okay, no problem. Don't worry, you did great. And she'd say, no, I want to go on. It took her about a half hour to do this one obstacle. And most people will do it in 5 minutes. It took her at least a half hour. She came down. All these people in the group gave her a hug. And I got a letter from her. She said that was the most meaningful, positive experience of her life. Okay? And she was, a young lady, late 20s, early 30s. What did she do? She went out of her comfort zone, like Avram. She went out of what she thought she could do. And a lot of times these are self-imposed boxes that we ourselves are guilty of putting them on and locking it. We feel like this is who we are, this is what we can do, this is what we believe, this is what we think, this is what we feel, and this is us. We think we figure out who we are. We don't really even know who we are until we start expanding our horizons. And so you could think that means you have to forget about what your parents' upbringing, forget about the good things your parents gave you, forget about you are to a certain extent who you are because of your parents and your upbringing. No, it just means to grow, to keep growing. In fact, the numerical equivalent of Lech Lecha, of go to yourself, is 100, which is also the same numerical equivalent as Avicha ve'imecha, your mother and father. Okay, it's also the same numerical equivalent as Kesaba Tov, like a good grandfather. It's also the numerical equivalent of La'avi ve'imi, for my father and my mother. So this doesn't mean that you have to leave your parents behind. That's not what it means. In fact, it means you're going to become closer to them. You're going to come closer to your essence of who you are. All right? And so one last thought. Hashem's got your back. It's also the numerical equivalent to 100 equals, as many people know, schach, which is the covering of the sukkah, those temporary boosts of the festival harvest, and those represent those Ananya Kavod, the clouds of glory. So in other words, Hashem is telling us, when make an effort to grow, I got your back. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to watch over you. All these great things are going to happen. Okay? I wish everybody a great week. And remember, it's just a matter of growing, getting closer to our essence of who we are, and connecting. We got to connect. Peace out, everybody.